So I'm sitting here in the quiet of our sanctuary, and I want to talk a little bit about Hark the Glad Sound and what it's meant to us as a community and how it ended up on our album. It was Advent 2008, and as I was approaching that season, I was in search of a good modern worship song that captured the heart of what Advent means. Jesus coming to earth, but not only his first coming, but his second coming. I think that's what Advent points to. I really couldn't find a song that would fit the bill. And then I started looking online, and I saw this hymn by Philip Doddridge called Hark the Glad Sound. It really grabbed my attention because of the opening line, but the rest of the hymn is just incredible. The second verse says, "He comes from thickest films of vice to clear the mental ray, and on the eyes oppressed with night to pour celestial day." That's a real tongue twister of a verse, but what it did for me was give me a whole new perspective on Jesus coming to earth. He comes to clear our senses about who God is and about how we can be saved. What also grabbed me was verse 1. And what was in verse 1, but I changed a few of the words because I wanted to convey something a little different. Doddridge's old words in the second part were changed to, "Let every heart prepare a throne for him to reign upon." For our church in Advent 2008, it was a pretty big deal of focusing on how our hearts were thrones that something or someone reigns upon. In a sense, what Hark the Glad Sound says to me is clear off those idols and let your heart be a vessel of preparation for Jesus to reign upon it. What also impressed me about Hark the Glad Sound was its future-oriented view. It was looking at Jesus' advent not only as a first advent or first coming, but his return as well. That in a sense, his first advent was a marker and a reminder to us of what's about to come. And so when we say, "Let every heart prepare a throne for him to reign upon," the Savior comes, the Savior promised long. What we're really saying there is I need to get myself straight before Jesus, because right now he comes for grace, but in the second advent he will come for judgment, and I need to be sure I'm covered under that grace. So the climax of the psalm is, or of the song is kind of bittersweet, because in one sense the Savior comes and he's going to bless me, and Jesus is drawing near to me. That's wonderful. But in another sense, the Savior comes and he comes to judge, and I need to be ready. I need to be ready to be on the right side of his wrath. And really that doesn't come through any good works of my own, but through being covered in the good works of Jesus. Because really it's the essence of the good news of the gospel. And for us in our church and everything that I want to be about that good news. And so the glad sound really is nothing less than the gracious word that Jesus has come to bless us with life everlasting, that we might not see the judgment that is to come, but might be covered by his grace.